So I was listening to a medical doctor talk the other day. He was talking about disease and how disease doesn't generally just appear in our bodies overnight. It is slowly created in our bodies over the course of our lives through small daily actions. While they don't feel like they're hurting us in the moment, they actually compound over time and then end up causing disease in our body. So the opposite is also true. Small daily habits done consistently will compound over the course of our lives and will create more stable, healthy bodies that can carry us through our lives in a comfortable way. So today I'm sharing 3 very easy, simple habits that are very small, but they will compound over the course of your lives to help your body and your mind be healthier. Health is not about the huge things that you do once a week or once a month. It's about the small things you do daily that add up over time to support your body and mind. Number 1, the first habit you are absolutely going to love because it only takes 10 minutes, and that is lifting for 10 minutes per day. We often think that we always need an hour in the gym to make any difference in our health, but that's just not true. An hour in the gym is great, but when you can't do that, lifting for 10 minutes per day is also great. The goal here is functional longevity. As we age, we naturally lose muscle mass and bone density. By lifting for just 10 minutes a day, you're telling your nervous system that your muscles are still required. You're building grip strength, balance, and core stability that will ensure that you're still moving independently 20 to 30 years from now. This is definitely a habit that compounds over the course of our lives. And I like to make this habit really easy and accessible for myself and kind of just make it like it's no big deal to do every day. This way, it just makes it easier to keep in my mind and I don't forget to do it. So my weights just sit next to my desk all the time. I do them when I need a break from my computer. I also do them whenever I'm checking the final of a YouTube video. When I'm watching it, I'm always doing weights at the same time. And then if I haven't done any lifting one day, I try to do them before my shower, before bed at night. And it's usually just 5 to 10 minutes. And I feel really good about that. I'm continuing to tell my body that I need my muscles. So think about how you could easily add lifting weights into your daily schedule. Could you lift weights every time you're waiting for your tea or your coffee to brew in the morning? Could you lift weights for 5 to 10 minutes before your shower every day? Link it to another habit that you already do. Make it accessible and short, and you're more likely to stick to the habit. So number 2, this habit I talk a lot about on this channel because it is the only way to make healthy habits stick without burning out. So this is all about the identity habit. So most of us treat health as this kind of side quest that we have to finish, but we're never finished with health. So instead, when you make health part of your identity, it's about making it your core setting. It's not just something you're doing for a little bit, it's something that's actually programmed into you as part of who you are. It's the difference between doing a healthy thing and being a healthy person. When you change your identity, you stop fighting against yourself to stay disciplined. So the habit for this that I want to introduce to you is getting in the habit of speaking about your identity in the present tense, focusing on how you show up today. So for instance, if you're saying to yourself, I'm trying to get my life together, your brain is like staying in that struggle mode. I'm really trying. I'm trying to get my life together. I'm trying to sort this out. But if you say, I am an organized person, this lands completely different with your body. So I'll give some more examples. So instead of saying something like, I'm trying to be less stressed, you can say, I am the type of person who protects my peace. Or instead of saying, I'm trying to stop scrolling, you say, I am someone who prioritizes my mental clarity. It might sound a bit silly and like fake it till you make it type stuff, but the important thing to understand is that the way that you speak to yourself in your head reprograms your brain. So yes, it might feel a little uncomfortable and weird at first to be speaking to yourself this way, but the more and more you do it, the stronger this new neural pathway in your brain will become. And these old pathways that say, I'm just not an organized person. I just don't have it in me to become organized. I'm just not like that. Those old pathways, they'll become weaker because you're not saying it so much anymore. But if you start saying, I am this organized person, I am this organized person, these new neural pathways in your brain become stronger. And it's just a matter of repetition. Catching yourself saying these old limiting identity beliefs and saying these new ones about your new identity that you're becoming. And over time, your brain begins to believe them because that neural pathway becomes stronger. There is this concept in psychology called self-affirmation theory. And studies have shown that when we affirm our core values and our identity, it actually activates the reward centers in our brain. This can buffer us against stress and makes us then more likely to take positive action because our brain is trying to keep our story and our actions in sync. The words that you speak out loud and to yourself create your beliefs. Your beliefs then drive your confidence, and that confidence is what fuels the actions that you take every day. So this year, for example, I decided that I was going to start running. So I needed to adopt the identity of a runner. And to be honest, I felt really weird at first just saying, I am a runner. It didn't feel right in my body when I said it because I couldn't run 400 meters without getting puffed. So instead, I just changed it to, I am a new runner. I am still a runner, but I'm just a new runner. And it softened it a bit and it sat much better in my body. It felt a lot more believable for me. So you can adjust these statements a little bit as you are becoming this new identity. But the idea is to start this identity statement as I am. You then want to keep it positive, keep the statement positive and in the present tense. And just make sure that this statement sits well in your body, that you can accept it a little bit. What you want to avoid is your statements to start with, I am trying to. I am trying is just not strong enough. It's not convincing enough to your brain. It's almost like saying, well, you're trying, but you might not make it. You're just trying. And it's almost like you're excusing yourself in case you do fail. And when you say I'm trying, you are more likely to not become that identity because it's not strong enough. So a little while ago in conversation, someone said to me, oh my God, are you a runner, Emily? And I was like, yeah, I'm trying to become a runner. And I instantly caught myself in that moment. And I said, yes, actually, I am a runner. I am a new runner, but indeed, yes, I am a runner. And that is how easy it is to course correct yourself in the moment. When you realize that you've said something that's disempowering to yourself or about yourself to others, just catch yourself and course correct. Just change the way you said it and start that sentence with, yes, I am. And don't say trying. You are. I am this. I am. Speak into existence the identity you are becoming. Okay, the third healthy habit that I want to talk about is all about gut health, because scientists now call the gut our second brain. Scientists are really beginning to put together this strong link between the health of our gut and our mental health. Basically put, if your gut is unhappy, the chances of your mental health being impacted go up. Having a healthy gut may also prevent you from those long-term diseases that we were speaking about earlier, like gastrointestinal diseases, cardiovascular conditions, and metabolic disorders. So gut health can definitely compound over time for our health. And just so you know, gut health symptoms, they're not just bloating and diarrhea or constipation. Like, those are definitely gut health symptoms, but that's not the only way that an unhealthy gut can show up in your body. An unhealthy gut can also show up in mood swings. It can show up in acne and skin conditions. It can show up in fatigue. There are lots of different symptoms, not just the ones that you might automatically think of. And I'm not a doctor, so obviously all of these things can also be signs of different issues in your body. So make sure that you understand yourself and consult your doctor. But I think just knowing and understanding that gut health can have an impact on our mental health, our current mental health, but also can have a compounding effect to potentially create diseases in our bodies over time, just understanding that is a great place to start and go, okay, well, maybe I should take my gut health a little bit more seriously and think about these foods that I'm consuming. So there are really easy ways that we can improve our gut health. Whether or not we're showing symptoms or not, I think just eating healthier foods in general is going to help and be a healthier habit for us. In terms of gut health though, incorporating probiotic foods like kimchi, kombucha, sauerkraut, natural yogurts, miso, and then also prebiotic foods, so things like asparagus, bananas, artichokes. These foods help to introduce all these good bacteria into our gut, which essentially is like gardening, doing some gardening in your internal ecosystem. These fermented foods, they introduce this beneficial bacteria that then regulate everything from your mood to your immune system. When you do this daily, you're not just going to be digesting better, but you'll be building a resistant microbiome that protects you from inflammation that will lead to these long-term health conditions and diseases over time. Increasing your fiber intake gradually is also a great way to improve your gut health. I recently introduced kimchi to my diet. Oh my gosh, wow. I'm kind of disappointed that I didn't know about this sooner because kimchi is so yummy. It sounded weird to me, but it's just like yummy, tasty cabbage basically. And I have this like garlic and miso flavored one that I put on the side of everything, and I love it on the side of eggs every morning. I love putting it on the side of stir fries. I will put it on the side of any meal or just eat it out of the jar. It's so tasty. I'd love to know in the comments below which of these 3 habits that you want to implement into your life. Unless you're doing them all already, let me know. Lifting, identity work, and gut health maintenance. For more of my healthy habit videos, you can view this playlist up here. Thanks for being here in this conversation today, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.